Diddy has uncovered something genuinely surprising about his own life for once, and ensure you're sitting for this one, since it seriously takes the cake evidently. Diddy was maneuvered toward being gay bi. In all honesty, Clive Davis, you know I must make that effort. These disclosures are downright insane, so secure your safety belts. And amidst this hurricane, the spotlight has fallen upon the famous figure and record maker, Clive Davis, uncovering a tangled snare of connections and captivating ventures. Prepare yourself for the stunning disclosure that Clive Davis and the unbelievable music magnate Diddy have been ensnared in an enthusiastic relationship for north of 5 years. Diddy, known for his momentous ability in delivering records and possessing names including the prestigious Bad Boy Records, has certainly transformed the music business. Craftsmen like the notable, infamous B.I.G. and the hair-raising attendant have called his name home anyway. Murmurs of interest arise scrutinizing the shocking ascent of his realm. Presently, we should dig further into the enthralling story of Clive Davis, a genuine legend in the music business, prestigious for his remarkable music creations. Davis' process has taken an entrancing turn in the midst of two bombed relationships. He left on an individual mission for self-disclosure, looking into the profundities of his own sexuality and investigating the chance of strange cravings during this spirit. Looking through stage, Davis broke the limits of his own discernment. At 50 years old, he embraced his reality and found a sense of peace with a reality that tested his assumptions of sexual direction. He said, "I never felt disgrace. No, I felt perplexed. The subject of sexual openness actually needs substantially more conversation. A status exists now. The mystery is out, revealing insight into the confounding accomplice who has caught Clive Davis' heart." As a matter of fact, the compelling music tycoon Diddy has imparted a significant association with him, in spite of the fact that Davis has decided to keep the subtleties of their relationship hidden. Their joint appearances at different occasions and shared encounters as transparently gay people says a lot about the profundity of their security. While gossipy tidbits about Diddy's victories in the music business have flowed for quite a long time, the disclosure of their 5-year relationship adds one more layer of interest to the tale. Obviously, the consistently dynamic web-based local area has not wondered whether or not to contribute their own hypotheses to the blend. Some accept that Diddy's ascent to distinction was cleared by specific demonstrations. Seen Diddy brushes was given his terrible kid engrave by Arista's Clive Davis, who is straightforwardly gay. How seen needed to help wealth is entirely expected for fruitful individuals of color in diversion and legislative issues. Generally, that sparkles isn't gold. Run your race. Let the following man run his, adding fuel to the talk plant. Another individual proposes brother all Diddy could possibly do was get in a real sense asked by Clive Davis and blame everything on each of his home slices. G-Dep crackpot Sparkle Mace Biggie. The rundown simply continues. All he needed to do was participate in gay blowouts. You ought to realize better. This individual, curiously enough, professed to have had a nearby experience with Clive Davis himself. "I was leaving the studio one morning. I gave a white woman a ride to Laura Ravine. She asked me who is that on the radio. I said that is not the radio. I just left the studio. I gave her a duplicate. She gave it to a person that could be useful to me. It was Clive Davis, and he requested that I lay down with gay men." Diddy's excursion in the music business started with a chance experience with industry legend Clive Davis. The image, a youthful and aggressive 23-year-old craftsman, hungry to transform the wildly serious universe of music. It was during this critical gathering that Diddy's hip-jump thoughts had a permanent effect on Davis, perpetually modifying the direction of their lives. Davis affectionately reviews their most memorable gathering, sharing how he was watching out for a craftsman who could truly associate with ordinary individuals. And Diddy fit the bill entirely. Puffy was 23 years of age. And I knew the specialist that I had. Aretha Dan Whitney was one sort of music. Davis says LaFez introduced blue shaded arb at its level. yet detecting the hip bounce of Hevel, both wright, and I concurred that we could utilize somebody truly sensitive to the road. You must understand how you can help yourself. And you have to know when you want to focus on others in those days. Diddy was working under Andrew Corridor at Uptown Records anyway. Predetermination had different designs for him. Once he grabbed Clive's eye, as Davis ponders that portentous experience, he reviews how could he energetically communicated his conviction that hip jump ought to be essential for the standard top 40. Anticipating a change in the music business, I said, you made your statement. That is the point at which I acquainted him with the week by week. What we assembled singles conferences, I acquainted him with a chief there, as somebody who might assist with driving us to the road and offer, in the impending hip bounce on Restwell. Diddy's quick ascent to fame might seem to have originated from a direct trade with Clive. The fact of the matter is definitely more mind-boggling than what Clive has introduced throughout the long term. It just so happens this experience filled in as an exterior for Clive's quest for sexual associations with men, and Diddy was not by any means the only individual he participated in such conduct with. It has been uncovered that Clive has been engaged with promising youthful craftsmen, promising them a prosperous vocation in the music business, prior to turning out to be sincerely engaged with them. Curiously, did he figure out how to try not to be thrown away after his relationship with Clive. Truth be told, Clive gave him help with sending off his own record name, Terrible Kid Records, and kept on supporting him for quite a long time. While Clive has been open about his sexuality, Diddy still can't seem to address the matter himself. Bits of gossip, encompassing the conditions of Diddy's music profession, have endured for quite a long time. In a flinch commendable meeting with Kevin Hart, Diddy dropped a stunner admitting that he and Usher used to awaken in a similar bed. Yes, you heard that right. It appears things got pretty comfortable between the tutor and his young protege. At the young age of 14, attendant even evacuated his life and moved the entire way to the dynamic roads of NYC to reside with Diddy. And we should simply say some eyebrow-raising exercises were occurring inside the walls of Diddy's family. Now we can't say for specific what sort of coaching was occurring yet. It's probably the case that it wasn't exclusively centered around making hit records. There was significantly really happening in secret, and the subtleties are unquestionably charming. So do you believe there's a going thing on among Diddy and Clive? Let me in on in the remarks. And remember to buy into the feed for all the most recent celeb refreshes. Gratitude for watching, and farewell.